Hi there and welcome to this week's vlog. Our next door neighbour, an elderly lady, died a few months ago, and her relatives have recently, because it's taken time, other issues in the family, they live a bit of a distance away, but recently they've come up and began the arduous task of sorting out the lady's house and property, and it's obviously been quite a task. They've had to have at least 2 skips to put all the stuff in that is not needed, needs to be cleared out, and they've done lots and lots of work taking things away, sorting out, and it just kind of struck me as a thought about what do we accumulate with our lives that when we're no longer here will perhaps be no use to anybody. Are we accumulating stuff that actually we don't really need? That just reminded me of a story I heard a long time ago of someone who went to a remote island, I think it was, to visit someone who's a missionary in that place. And he was shown to his room, and it was very, very sparse, not much there. And his host said to him, "Look, if there's anything you need, tell me, and I'll show you how you can do without it." We do clutter our lives with things that perhaps ultimately, when you think about it, we don't really need. I know that when we moved to our bungalow here, after I retired, about 4 years ago now, time flies, we had to put a load of stuff in. Fortunately, we have a double garage here, and I put loads of stuff in there, so I couldn't even get the car in. Of course, we'd moved from a much bigger house to our current bungalow, but still, we had stuff that we didn't need. Part of that was from Sue's mum and aunt who died, and we hadn't had time to fully sort out their stuff. But nevertheless, we brought a lot of stuff that ultimately we didn't need, and we're still in the process actually of sorting that out. We got a lot done, but not as much as we need to do. I was talking about this with a friend recently, and they pointed out how there seems to be a proliferation of storage facilities dotted around the country. So if you have more possessions than can fit comfortably in your house, go and put them into storage. Doesn't that suggest that for many people we have far too much stuff? I'm sure that's true of me, and I'm really thinking about that. I was reminded of a passage in St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 6 and verse 19. Jesus says this: "Do not store up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal." Then he says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So I'm asking myself, where is my treasure? And I look around, even in my office here, and thinking, how much of this stuff do I actually need? There's another story that Jesus tells about a farmer who had a bumper harvest, and as a result he built himself bigger barns to store all his possessions in. He thought, I'm made for life. But then God says to him, "You foolish man, your life's going to end tonight, and then what will your huge barns full of corn, etc., what good will that do for you?" Another story I heard from J. John said he'd been at a family funeral, and he was just walking about, and he heard a conversation between 2 people there, and one of them asked the other of the person who died, "How much did he leave?" And J. John spoke up and said, "He left everything." That's thought-provoking, isn't it? So I asked myself, and perhaps you want to ask yourself, how much of what I have is surplus to really what I need? And the truth is, we don't actually own, in a real sense, anything, do we? We're just stewards of it for a time, a period. And then when we leave this earthly life, we can't take it with us. How much of what I have do I really need? Can I be more careful about what I buy or receive? Can I give something away or sell something? Or to use the modern expression, downsize. Do I need to be thinking about that? Live more simply. There's that phrase, isn't there? To live more simply so that others may simply live. We have in the West so much, and in many parts of the country, people have so very little. How can we share the blessings that we've experienced? So there's the thought for the day. Hope that's given you something to think about. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.